The moment billionaire Armin Vale froze in the middle of the crowded daytime market, his breath caught as if someone had reached inside his chest and twisted his heart. Sunlight bounced off stalls of fruit and fabric, children ran barefoot across warm concrete, and life moved loudly all around him. Yet all Armin could see was a poor little girl standing near a water cart, her dress faded by too many washes, her hair tied with a fraying ribbon. Around her neck hung a necklace he had buried with his past, a thin silver chain holding a small oval pendant carved with a tiny star and a date no one else in the world should know. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that the smallest moments can change lives forever, take a second right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Grandma's Book. Your support helps keep stories like this alive. That necklace had vanished 22 years ago on the day Armin's world collapsed. Back then, he was not a billionaire but a young man chasing ambition, blind to love, blind to consequences. The necklace had belonged to his first love, Elira, a woman whose kindness had once softened his sharp edges. On the day she disappeared from his life, the necklace disappeared too, and with it the part of Armin that still believed money was not the answer to everything. He had searched, regretted, and eventually sealed the memory away, building an empire tall enough to hide his guilt. Seeing that pendant now, in the bright, ordinary daylight, cracked that carefully built armor. The little girl could not have been more than 9. Her name, Armin later learned, was Sophia. She stood patiently as her mother filled plastic bottles with drinking water to sell to passers-by. The girl's sandals were worn thin, her hands small and dusty, yet she carried herself with a quiet dignity that unsettled him. The necklace rested against her chest as if it belonged there, as if it had always been part of her story. Armin's mind raced through impossible explanations, but his heart already knew the truth was heavier than logic. He followed them at a distance through sunlit streets where heat shimmered above the road. He watched Sophia help her mother count coins, watched her give a shy smile to a customer who paid extra, watched her sit on the curb and trace shapes in the dust while waiting. There was no performance here, no trick. This was survival, lived openly in the daylight. Armin felt the weight of his wealth pressing down on him, suddenly useless, suddenly shameful. By the time they reached a narrow neighborhood of patched roofs and peeling paint, Armin's polished confidence had vanished. He learned that Sophia's mother, Lamis, had raised her alone after losing her husband to illness years earlier. They lived in one small room, worked from sunrise to late afternoon, and dreamed quietly, carefully, because dreaming too loudly hurt when reality answered back. The necklace, Lamis explained later through trembling emotion rather than words, had been given to her by a woman named Elira long ago, a woman who had helped her when she had nothing, a woman who had disappeared suddenly, leaving behind only kindness and that silver pendant meant for a child yet to be born. The truth landed like a slow, relentless wave. Sophia was Elira's daughter. And that meant she was Armin's too. The billionaire who controlled boardrooms and markets found himself unable to control his own shaking hands. He saw Elira's eyes in the girl's quiet focus, her gentleness in the way Sophia shared her food with another child. Every choice he had ever made lined up behind him, demanding to be seen. He had spent decades donating anonymously, believing distance was mercy. Now he understood distance had been his greatest cruelty. What Armin did next shocked everyone, not because it was dramatic, but because it was complete. He did not arrive with cameras or speeches. He did not sweep in with promises and disappear again. In the clear light of day, he stepped into their lives and stayed. He ensured Lamis received medical care she had postponed for years. He arranged education for Sophia that respected her roots instead of erasing them. He invested in the neighborhood itself, creating work, clean water access, and schools, refusing to let kindness stop at one doorstep. Most shocking of all, Armin did not try to buy forgiveness. He earned it slowly, painfully, by showing up. He learned Sophia's favorite books, watched her confidence bloom in classrooms filled with sunlight, and carried the quiet ache of years he could never reclaim. The necklace remained with Sophia, not as proof of blood, but as a symbol of connection that had survived loss, poverty, and time. As seasons passed, Armin changed. The man who once believed success meant distance now found purpose in closeness. Board meetings felt smaller than afternoons spent helping Sophia with homework or walking through the same market where fate had stopped him cold. People began to notice that the billionaire smiled more, listened longer, and spoke less about numbers and more about people. If this story has touched your heart even a little, please take a moment now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Grandma's Book. Your engagement helps these stories of hope reach others who need them.